Take two. This is Stephen, the Disney Drago Robinson. You're watching the one and only Sport Icon. Bow! Good, mate. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. You're in a nice, fancy room there.
Yeah, it's a nice hotel. Lovely hotel.
Yeah. Now, before we talk about something else, any news on your fight date?
Yeah, contract come through today. So 7th of April, Rain Meadows fighting for a IBF international intercontinental title or some sort of title. So that's going to be confirmed in the next few days. But it's been signed, it's been done. So that's on the 7th of April on a Fight Zone on a Dennis Hobson show at Rain Meadows. So all good. And then Sky have been on saying that they're coming up in June. So get that one out of the way and then straight back into camp ready for June.
I think it's like I always get like a lot of messages on YouTube and things like that. It's Stephen left Sky and all that kind of stuff. It just seems like a complete mess over there at the minute. From my perspective, looking in, it looks like a complete mess. There's like a lot of unhappy fighters, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think I'm not the only one in a position of waiting to see what's going on. And I'm in a fortunate position where contract ran out on the 1st of February, so I'm a free agent, so I can fight as of when I please until obviously that contract comes through. So that's obviously enabling me to have this fight in April, which is perfect. Get this title, and then obviously when touch wood I get the title, then obviously my price and it goes up, and my product, my profile goes up. So when I come in with a contract and I'm a title holder, then things change.
Totally agree. Well, wouldn't you fancy just like staying a free agent so you just pretty much go wherever the fights are? Is that tempting for
Uh,
you?
yeah, obviously that's all good, but I think a lot of free agents get thrown under the bus. We've seen it with Dave Allen. Dave Allen was a free agent, and I think he got thrown under the bus and wasn't really well looked after in terms of psychologically and physically. He wasn't in a good place, and they were trying to, I think they took advantage of that. And they've done what they've done with David, but he looks like he's in a good place now, mentally, physically. So we'll see where he can go. But being a free agent is good, permitting obviously everything's in order, and I'm looked after from Mark, my manager, which I know I am, and he gets. You have 1, 4, 5, 6 fights this year. So, being a free agent is going to get us that. But my first fight's not till April, which is obviously wasted 4 months, and which is disappointing because that 4 months has been wasted waiting on a contract, or waiting on finding out what's going on with Sky, or waiting on a fight date. So it's been frustrating, but it is what it is. I've just got to stay focused and do what I need to do in April.
That's a boxing world of politics for you, I suppose. Um, oh yeah, what do you make of obviously like a last time out? I mean, the bookies had you as a heavy underdog, which was weird for us, wasn't it? Against a Nick Campbell, you went in there, you gave away like the first 2 rounds, which was pretty much the plan anyway. But then you stopped him in 4, and we've seen like a billionaire since then. He wants a rematch and all that kind of stuff. Is that like a step backwards? It's not disrespecting him, but it's a step backwards for you. What I mean is,
I don't see it as a step back. What do you see? What I see it as, which we're not world champions. We're not at the top of the game. Have I said I want to rematch with Shane Gill before Shane Gill hasn't been fighting? I just accepted the loss. Be grateful, and he hasn't offered a rematch to Jay McFarlane. He hasn't offered a rematch to anyone who he's won. So, you know, just accept defeat. How I accepted it was making sure that I beat somebody who was there
Mm.
because I had been put back down a pedestal or two, which, uh, yes, I know the reason why I lost that fight, but no one else did. No one else will, and that's got fuck all to do with anything or anyone of my progression. The way I had to look at it was the only way now to progress beyond where I know I can be and get to where I need to be was fight somebody like Nick Campbell, which we're done. And for him to sit and say, I don't know if, I think Nick needs to go away and look at fighting somebody with a record like an Ignatius or what have you, and take their zero. Then he'll be back up there, and who knows, you know, in a year's time, me and Nick might be fighting, for a title or for nothing. But at the minute, I think he needs to look past the rematch with me, and take somebody zero like I did, and whatever. Why, but Billy Nelson, yeah, let Billy Nelson say what he wants to say. But that, as I say, Nick, you don't see people early on in the career rematching if they take a loss. Who have you ever seen? When somebody loses early on in the career, when do you ever see them rematching? Very, very, very rare. David Price done it and lost twice. So does Nick Campbell really want to go down that route because you lose twice and then where do you go? I think for him it's about rebuilding that and going and beating somebody, taking somebody zero, building himself back up, get back up in the rankings, and then who knows what a year down the road brings.
Now, I remember after the Shane Gill situation, of course, I know like what happened and everything, and obviously that's your story to tell. But one of the things that you said to me was, well, the best way to bounce back is to take another prospect zero, and you've done that now.
Well, yeah, so and that's what he needs to do. In my opinion, that's what he needs to go and do. And I keep getting things sent. Sky are building this fight behind closed doors against Tommy Welsh. Tommy Welsh was saying this on social media. Listen, I'm not about social media. I'm a man. Fucking private messages. Tell us what he wants to fight, and if it's not in front of 10,000 people for however much money he's getting, I'll drive down his gym and I'll spar with him in 10-ounce gloves, and we'll have a fight. Like, I'm not going to sit and call people out on social media. I'm not going to sit and respond to people calling me out. I'm a man, but 10 years ago, when there was no social media, MSN and MySpace, you'd maybe meet somebody in a car park or a field. Like, I'm just not about that. I'm not about that sitting on social media, sitting on Twitter, calling people out. The building up a fight that hasn't. I'm not even in contract for one with them, and Tommy Welsh, that would be a good fight for Campbell, but again, people building fights up through social media and not taking the other fighter into consideration and not talking to the other fighter and things going back and forward. Tommy Welsh is a fighter I should know. It's not as easy as saying I want to fight him and it getting done like that. It doesn't work like that. But anyway, besides that, I'm not. Well, there's going to be a lot of people sitting on social media calling us out, especially when, as I say, touch wood, I win this title. There's going to be a lot of people wanting that strap around their, waist. So you've just got to grit your teeth and get on with what you need to do.
Yeah, so screw rematch, screw anybody else who's calling you out. You've got your date, you've got a title on the line, opponent to be announced soon. Have you shortlisted a few opponents? Obviously, you're not going to want to mention names, but
That's down to Mark, and whoever the matchmaker is for Dennis Hobson. That's down to them to sort out. And like anything, like when we got offered Nick Campbell, I don't sit there and go, oh no, I don't even look at who I'm fighting. I don't watch the YouTube. I don't care about records. I couldn't give a shit about all that because I'm going to get in that ring and I'm going to do what I need to do, and that's it. So, when I get that name, that's no problem.
Great. Okay, then. So as soon as everything gets official, if you get tickets and whatever else, you'll let everyone know on your social media to come grab some.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so you're in a hotel. There's a reason for that. You got a call up to spend a bit of time with Usyk.
Yeah, it's like being asked to shag Prince Andrew. It's an honor and a privilege, but not many people get to do it, isn't it? No, it was random because after the Nick Campbell fight, I had getting a message on Instagram of somebody, Sergey Laplin, and I just disregarded the message. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know anything about him, and then got another message, and I think, did you get a message?
No,
Or
I
did
messaged Alexander Krasuk saying that you'll be a good sparring partner.
so?
Then he contacted
I,
Sergey. He contacted you. I put him in contact with Glenn.
so then it went through Glenn, and they were wanting heights, and there was forms to fill out, and I didn't really think much of it. I thought, and I didn't fill out any forms. Glenn done them for us, and then a week ago I got a phone call to say, "Oh, can you fly out on obviously Sunday?" And I'll not say where it is, where the camp is. I got us to fly out on Sunday, um, and yeah, so we've done that, and we've had our first sport tonight. Good session, good hard work, and looking forward to the next few weeks of sparring and seeing what comes of it. And obviously, we're waiting for that big fight to be announced. If that's going to be announced, am I here for that? Am I not here for that? Who knows? Again, it's like we said at the start of the video. It's all to do with politics of boxing. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as saying, "I want to fight him. He wants to fight me." Boom, that fight's happened. It's not as easy as that. But people don't seem to realise how difficult making a fight is when there's two different, you know, well, four governing bodies are involved, and then you've got two boxing boards involved, and then you've got two promoters involved. It, it really isn't as easy as people think, and this is why when people say, "Oh, you should be fighting Johnny Fisher, you should be fighting Sean Mateus, you should be fighting Fabio Wall, you should be fighting this kid, or this kid should be fighting that kid," it really isn't as easy as it is, as people from the outside perceive it. Then it really isn't that way inclined, and it's unfortunate because for me, like old school boxing, everyone should just fight everybody. The greats should all fight the greats, and it should be done, as easy as a phone call. But unfortunately, it's not like Rocky where someone walks into the gym and says, "Are you're fighting this man on this date?" Perfect. It really isn't like that.
You know, wouldn't it?
It would make everybody's life easier. Funding, it would make funding a million times easier. Knowing when you're fighting, knowing what's going on. You know, everyone thinks all boxers are millionaires, and we're all driving around in Range Rovers and Audis and BMWs, and we're having people, like I say, that they have no clue what goes on behind closed doors, and it's
We've got an Audi.
unfortunate. So yeah, I've got an old school A3, but besides, like I say, everyone thinks this is why I hate when people jump on social media and or videos on YouTube and troll boxers or troll anybody because they don't realize you know what actually goes on behind closed doors, how lonely the sport is, how shit the sport sometimes is, how mentally draining the sport is, physically draining the sport is, and especially with no fight day when you're just in camp constantly, dieting constantly, sparring constantly. And then you get some dickheads jumping on social media and say, "Oh, he's shit, he's useless, he's this, he's that." I'm not on about me, and I'm on about in general. So and I'd say boxing, is probably the worst for it. Half the people probably don't even watch the videos of things going on before they've jumped on and told someone. But that's the world we're living in with social media, which is exactly what I was saying earlier on. I'm not about this social media calling people out and trolling people, and I find it just fucking pathetic, to be honest.
So what's he like then, Usyk? Like as a guy, come across like a decent man or whatever.
Yeah, very little English, which was expected, but seems to be having a laugh in the gym between his team, dancing around, doing silly videos.
Bit like you,
So
really, then, isn't
yeah, yeah. Well, he's just a Ukrainian version of me. Like I was watching him today, and he was honestly, it was like I wish I knew what they were saying, and I wish I could engage into what they were doing, because that it was just like training with myself, except with a beard. Unfortunately, I can't grow one, but no, he seems him and his team seem to have a good thing going on, a good balance between seriousness and fun, and it's good to see that I'm not the only idiot out there.
it? Now, he's a southpaw. I know that you haven't done much with southpaws before. Of course, you have done some sparring and whatever, especially as an amateur spotter. Um, is it weird? Like the first round or something? Was it like a little bit weird to
You know,
adjust?
you know what I found weird is obviously the check left hook doesn't work as well as check left hook's my favorite shot in boxing. But the uppercut, I love how in the uppercut. And the uppercut works well. The right to the body works well. So all I need to adapt. But with me, with, with my mind works different to others, and I am my worst own nightmare. So I'm as I'm sparring, I'm watching my feet and making sure my foot's outside his foot. And I probably spend half the time watching my feet rather than watching him. But you know, it was interesting because it's not like sparring a southpaw of another sort of an average boxer, or it's sparring a southpaw who dances his way in, and is high as he comes in and is pivoting off, and yeah, it's not the average southpaw sparring, to say the least. But
The reason why Tyson calls him the rabbit because he's always on the move.
yeah, he is he's quick in and out, and even during these sessions, you see what he's practicing and what he's learning, and it's very very interesting um, to watch what goes on at the top level and be involved in that, and know where what it is that I'm doing wrong or doing right, or because it's not just about going in the gym, doing your hour session and then going home. There's that connection that they've got. As I say, the banter, the dancing, the charisma between each other, and the 40 minutes of cooling down, 20 minutes of warming up, and your session ends up being a 2 hour session. But maybe it's good to learn from that as well. That it's not all about going in, killing yourself for an hour and going home. Um, there's a lot more to it. There's a lot of science behind it.
So are you definitely picking up some new tricks and tips already then that you're thinking, you know what, maybe I want to make that kind of adjustment when I get home?
Well, that's the reason why I'm out here. I knew that was going to happen. Obviously, the fight on the 7th of April has just been announced today, so I could easily be, think, well, fuck it, I'm not fighting the southpaw, so I need to get home and spar spar like for like at home, but there's no pain or buy in this experience. And I haven't, I'm not, I hate the word luck. People are messaging and saying, oh, you're so lucky. Oh, isn't hard work is getting me, yeah? Being noticed is getting me, yeah? Nothing else. Boxers have probably been messaging, begging for this opportunity. And I'm in a fortunate position where I've been offered this opportunity, and I'll show why I'm here, and I'll prove to them why I'm here, and who knows what doors this could open.
I totally agree. Now, I said to you before, but I must say it public that you are the only current British heavyweight that would have sparred two active reigning unified heavyweight world champions, Anthony Joshua and Oleksandr Usyk. You're the only one to have done it.
Like I said, getting into boxing. People can say what they want about us. People can say how shit I am. People can say anything they want. But a 24-year-old, when I walked through that gym, had I have looked at myself in 7 years' time, in 8 years' time, and in 9 years' time, and be given a piece of paper and said, "This is your accolades of what you would have done in boxing," I would have laughed. I walked in the gym a fat, heavy, you know, overweight, lump of lord who went into the gym and said to Mark, "I need to lose weight. What can I do?" And he said, "Oh, do the boxer size class with Giuseppe." Didn't even know Mark, didn't know Giuseppe. And, you know, that was February 2014, July 2014. I had my first amateur fight. Like I said, every single thing I do is overachieved in what I've ever expected, and it's an honor, and it is unbelievable to be in the position I'm in. And if I could only pass a tiny bit of wisdom or a tiny bit of fortune down to somebody else who has no belief in themselves, then I'm a perfect example for anybody to try something, to give something to try, and give 110% at it. Because, as I say, I hear little things like this, what you've just said, and other things that have happened in the arena situation of headlining my home arena and boxing live on Sky and like everything. It still takes something for us just to sit back and go, wow, this is happening to you.
It's something to look back on, isn't it? In a few years' time, when your career's all said and done, you can look back on these moments and say, "Yeah, I did do this. I did do that."
Yeah, which is
When
why
people
I'm
told you
never.
you ain't going to do it,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was told at the age of 14, 15, 16, all the way through school, you become nothing. You do nothing. And funny enough, I was at a school the other day speaking to naughty boys, and it it was it was a very, how would I put it? It was a fantastic opportunity to be given, and having boys come up to us and speak to us after and say, "Oh, what would you suggest we do? How do you feel about this? I just sat and thought, wow, I'm possibly inspiring, you know, the 14, 15-year olds of today who go on TikTok and sit with a vape pen and watch these videos and find that this is normal and that's normal and becoming a bully's normal and doing this Andrew Tate's normal. And because of social media, life things are so much more normal than what would have been normal. And I'm only going back 15 years. But what I would find normal in school, and what I would find normal how to approach something or someone, and is very, very different now to what it was back then. And as I say, you didn't have social media. You didn't really. You had MySpace, you had Bebo, and you had MSN.
Mm.
And if somebody wanted to fight with you, you'd sit on your phone. You didn't have WhatsApp, and you'd organise it through MSN or and then it was done. Uh,
Yeah.
and as I say, so with this whole world at the minute, with calling people out on social media and trolling on social media, and not realizing that you're probably never going to see that person. You're probably never going to come across that person. But if you did ever see that person, that same person would probably shake your hand and want a photo with you without telling you that it was them that had said that on Twitter or them that had said that on Instagram or. And that's the life we're living in at the minute. It's weird to get your head around that. There's a lot more things being normalized than what would have been 15, 16 years ago.
Now you did, talking about like things that you've done, like a headline in the arena. You sparred Joshua while he was unified champion. You know, sparring Usyk while he's unified champion. Headline in the arena. You beat the Scottish heavyweight champ. You done all this stuff already, but you did something on Friday as well. Is that are we keeping that a secret now?
No, so I got a again. It was a very very random scenario. It was an Instagram message back in December, and I sort of just because my Instagram messages come to me for those who are following. Then in another box, you've got a up in the top right hand corner, you've got another box which I only sort of found out about 3 months ago that existed. So I've been missing trolls comments and I've been missing people calling us out on videos and this, that, and t'other. And I've missed all that. And it's funny. And as I say, once in a blue moon, I'll check that and I'll have hundreds and hundreds of messages. 90% of them telling us I'm a fucking dickhead. But anyway, and then this one come on and it was like, hi, I'm from, I think it was Best Media. We're really interested in you for an up and coming show, the Gladiators. I fobbed it off. I get message daily. Would you be interested in having one of our free such and such? All you need to do is become an ambassador. And it's all about becoming an ambassador and what you can do for them. And then the message come again, the same message, and due to having Glenn and what have you on my social media, and I think Glenn received a message as well. And Glenn rang us and he was like, "Oh, I've had such and such," and I was like, tell him where to go. It's a load of shit." He was like, "No, I've passed your number on," and I got a phone call and he says, "Oh, we watched you. I watched you against Nick Campbell. He was Scottish." He says, "I'm a big fan of Nick's. I loved your post-fight interview. We're really interested in having you come apply to be a gladiator. Is that something you're willing to do? We want to bring the nostalgia back of gladiators, how it was 20 years ago. And we're really interested in having you." So on Friday, drove down to London, done a stage of 12 fitness tests. Had a couple of media things to do, and it was over the stage of 5 hours. And who knows what will come of it, and we'll see what comes of it, and
But
if it happens. Sorry.
it's no, I mean, it's just another one of them things, isn't it? You know, you can say you must have had a trial or your approach to be
But
on Gladiators. You could be the next hunter or the next wolf or something, you know?
it's like I say, I just appreciate everything that's happening, and as I say, if I can help somebody else out there with the appreciation of what's going on, and every opportunity I get in boxing, every opportunity I get to go away and sport, every opportunity I get just to be doing something that I never would have thought I would be doing, it's as I say, it's an honor, it's a privilege, and yeah,
As you said, it's not luck, it's earned.
it's definitely not luck. winning the lottery is luck. I don't
Mm.
think anybody, you know, anybody is. People say Eddie Hearn's lucky. Eddie Hearn's Barry Hearn done everything.
Mm.
But without Eddie Hearn building and becoming the sensation he is, and that's not luck. Yes, he's been handed a business, but you can lose that business in a heartbeat. I've seen people be handed businesses off the parents, and in a year later that business is gone because they try and change it up, they try and do things, they try and run things different. And you look at what DAZN are doing now, and you look at what Wasserman are doing now. Unfortunately, the world we live in, the likes of TikTok, the likes of YouTube, is way bigger than Sky Sports Boxing or DAZN or Matchroom. It's bigger. It's got more views. You look at some TikTok videos that get 35 million views. You tell me a boxing fight that's had 35 million views.
Yeah.
Maybe, that's one. There's a kid, a little Chinese kid, who sits and opens presents and gifts and talks about these toys. He gets 3-4 million views. He's got his own toy range. He's got his own, he's got his own song. And this is the world we're living in now, and there's no getting around it. So what a Matchroom, what's Eddie Hearn and the Sauerland brothers went and done? They've thought, right, boxing isn't as big as it used to be. And you get all these people, all these critics, all these boxers going, oh, shit, it's pathetic. This shouldn't be. But unfortunately, it is. And unfortunately, it's getting massive views, more views. Floyd Mayweather, one of the biggest names to ever grace boxing.
Yeah.
I'd love to see his figures of the fight with Aaron Chalmers, his viewing figures versus Paul's and Fury's.
Yeah.
And was that fight viewed because of who Fury is? Was it shit? It was viewed because of who the Paul brothers are and what they've done in the time that life has changed through social media, through YouTube. This KSI, this Logan Paul, Jake Paul, the massive, the bigger than you walk through the street with Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather. Walk through the street, walk through London, walk through Miami, walk through Vegas, wherever it may be. You walk through with a famous boxer and one of the most famous YouTube and see who gets asked for the most photos. I can guarantee it'll be the TikToker or it'll be the YouTuber. And it's the same in any sport. Put Wayne Rooney, put Harry Kane, maybe he's not as big as somebody like Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi because they're big in world. But put a footballer at the sort of top of the game in the English Premier League or the Spanish, and then put a YouTuber and again walk down the street, see who gets asked more for photos. This is and what have Eddie Hearn and the Sauerland brothers done? They've flipped boxing and they've focused on that. And I can guarantee that'll be the next biggest thing to happen.
I agree with you. All right, well, I've got 4 minutes before this thing automatically ends itself. Let's finish up with we were both at the show on Saturday, the arena for Lewis Ritson. Unfortunately for Lewis, unfortunately for Tommy, they lost. Lewis put out a post saying that now the pressure of headlining and bringing big time boxing up to the Northeast is now off his shoulders. He's going to go and be like an away fighter as such, as in fighting away from home, fighting abroad and that now. Any words for Lewis for what he's done for Northeast boxing?
It's phenomenal what he's done for Northeast boxing. Him and his dad, and it's an honour to have been to a few of Lewis fights and see the atmosphere he gets at the arena. And he showed again that he's got a fantastic heart, a fantastic chin, and Howard Davis has lost to 2 world champions. People discredit what he's about. a phenomenal fighter. Skilled, hard hitting, a chin like granite, puts pressure on you. So, for Lewis to take that fight on, knowing it was going to be a dangerous fight, fair play to him. And as I say, I wish him the best of luck, and he has done amazing things for Northeast boxing.
And yes, and now it's up to you, to everybody else in the Northeast, to take that mantle.
Listen, come April 7th, there could be two Northeast kids. There will be, not could be, there'll be two Northeast kids with belts in two gyms. There'll be the English title in Wall's End gym, and there'll be the IBO, the IBF international title in Vision gym. And it's a privilege to be part of that with Robert, and I'm looking forward to that fight as well.
And of course, Cyrus, he'll have a WBA as well.
Yeah, yeah. So that three titles within the Northeast, and putting the Northeast back up there to show, and then see where Troy can go, because Troy's got so much more to give, and not just Troy, but everybody. We're seeing Ben Reese with a fantastic performance, and on the 18th of March we'll see what the Northeast is about with the likes of Mark Dickinson, and then you've got April, you've got Joe Lord, you've got Savannah. There's so many names out there that that why won't titles be in so many titles could be in the Northeast, but people need to give with the opportunity. And unfortunately, the opportunity isn't given enough to those Northeast fighters.
All right, and Stephen, I'm sure we'll have a catch up before you come back home and see how everything's going. I'm sure we're going to see you with a black eye or two.
None at the minute. Even with respect on.
Maybe next time. All right, Stephen, I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, everyone, for watching as well.